Bring in at this point Mukul Rohatgi is joining us live in the broadcast as well on Newsx, senior advocate and former Attorney General of India. Mukul Rohatgi, thank you for speaking with us today on the broadcast. What do you make of this filing in the Supreme Court of India by the government? The government maintaining that it can do very little in this matter. What do you make of what they've said in court?
See, the problem is that we don't have proper diplomatic relations with Yemen. And that's why I think the government has made a statement to the effect that they cannot do much. But I personally believe that if some pressure is brought on the government of Yemen, and that could probably be through Iran, which is our best bet, because the Houthis there are backed by Iran. And I read that this lady is in a prison which is controlled by Iran-backed Houthis. So Iran would be the best bet. We have good relations with them. So that is one way of exercising pressure. The other is, of course, blood money, but then blood money, government of India cannot provide. I think the government of India should explore with its citizens or non-citizens of Indian descent who are based in the Middle East, whether it be Yemen, whether it be Saudi, whether it be UAE, and use their good offices if they can help us. I remember in a particular case where a person from Kerala had been convicted for murder, was in a similar situation. There, one of the most well-known Keralite Indians settled in the UAE, namely Mr. Yusuf Ali, whom I know personally, who is the owner of a huge brand of stores, supermarkets called Lulu.
Yes.
He actually went out of his way and he paid from his own pocket by going to a country like Yemen, I don't know which country it was, and he secured the release of the individual by paying blood money, and that individual from Kerala was released and he came back to Kerala and he was widely greeted in Kerala, etc.
Okay.
So this is one example which comes to my mind, and maybe any other country which is friendly with Yemen and friendly with India, that we can emphasize with them and say, look, past is past, blood money is being offered, we bring some political pressure to see that a young lady does not die on the gallows, because obviously what she did was in extreme circumstances, which in our jurisprudence is called grave and sudden provocation. So I am sure Mr. Jaishankar is a very able foreign minister, and I am sure they must be working to the best of their ability.
Okay. So as you're saying, back channel diplomacy perhaps is something that can help us at this point of time. Now the government is also, they have spoken about the blood money issue, but they've said obviously that is something that the family has to negotiate, and the family is negotiating as we speak as well. What is the likelihood of that working?
Well, it can work, but the point is the family by itself may not have access, to the right channels to reach the family concerned there of the deceased. Therefore, you may need to put in an interlocutor, somebody who's well known, who can reach, those people of the deceased and make an offer, and if necessary, add something from his own pocket, which can be contributed by people of Kerala or by people of India. It's not a big deal to arrange a couple of crores. If a fund is created for that purpose by the state of Kerala, I'm sure you can immediately, within hours, we can have a kitty of 10, 20, 25 crores. There's no issue on that. So they need to have a proper person in the middle, like the example that I have given, and only then it will work. It's not like going to a shop and say, I've got the money, I'm going to buy something. You got to know the ropes, you got to know the country, you got to know how things move. And that is why it is important to have an experienced intermediary.
Absolutely. Now, also, of course, the Supreme Court has kept the hearing in this matter now for Friday. What do you expect will happen in the next hearing? How is the case likely to proceed in the apex court? Do you believe the court will ask the government once again for their progress in this matter?
Of course, everybody is concerned. It's a human issue, whether it's a judge of the Supreme Court or a person like you and me. We are concerned because a citizen of our country is going to go to the gallows. God knows whether that judgment is correct or not. God alone knows whether she got proper assistance or she got proper access to justice or to help her out in the case. I don't know what kind of procedure was followed. Therefore, we are all concerned, so is the Supreme Court. And that is why the hearing has been kept within, a few days. And I am sure the Supreme Court will prod the government to see whether it can use its own good offices, its own channels, its own back channels. It is obvious that the government of India can reach people like I have suggested. The government of India knows how its citizens or people of Indian descent are doing well in those kind of nations. They know government of India is aware of that. So the government of India can tap them and say, please help us. And I'm sure every Indian, whether an Indian or a person of Indian descent, even having a foreign passport, will by and large try and see if something can be done, because these things are irreversible. Another month passes and the execution happens, then that's the end of the matter. So time is of essence. Mr. Jaishankar, I'm sure, is an experienced person, but the least that is required is to reach out to Indians or people of Indian descent or people who have sympathy with India and Indian people.
In the Middle East. In the Middle East, absolutely.
In that region to move and move as soon as you can, as fast as you can, and maybe some results will come up.
What about the ICJ or any other body, Mr. Rohatgi? Can they intervene?
No, sir, ICJ has no jurisdiction in this kind of thing. ICJ is not an appellate authority over a Yemen Supreme Court. You can't have an ICJ over the Indian Supreme Court. Similarly, you can't have ICJ over the Yemen Supreme Court. That is out of question.